Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another little stroll around the garden. I'm filming this Sunday morning. You'll watch this Sunday morning as well. Yesterday, I got a lot of gardening in, but we got big storms rolled through, so I was not able to film yesterday. We are going to start by the bananas. So you can see what the banana has done if you missed that video. Just yesterday, actually, I put up the video of potting up the banana. That was a week ago, Sunday, that I did that. So I'm going to show you how much it's already progressed, but we have to go inside the house for that. All right, so this is what is supposed to be Mr. Much More Patient's office, but mostly it's the plant room right now. So you saw in that video that this leaf was starting to push, but it was only about there. But you can see it's already starting to sort of unfurl. This is the, oops, sorry. This is the, can you see this? Probably not. This is the new banana. I can't see it. There we go. This is the new banana, which is huge. There's also yesterday or the other day, I picked up a little dwarf Cavendish banana for a small container. I guess it's official, I have an issue. And those guys down there are a Dracaena, and I believe that one is Janet Craig. That is a variety that I have been looking for ages, and I got that for a very specific application. Oopsies. Don't close the banana leaves. There is like no room left in there. Which is that I am designing a garden for, I've talked about it a couple of times now, but designing a garden for someone. And as part of that garden, they bought a couple of fabulous pots. And although I'm not technically supposed to be designing the pots, I'm hoping they're going to let me. And I want those plants in them. They are flanking their garage door. They're beautiful Nichols Brothers pots, huge. I got my big pot energy out at someone else's house, and it's mostly shade. Like there's some sun, and what the sun is actually afternoon sun, which might not be great, but honestly our sun is just not that strong here. So I'm hoping those will be a fabulous centerpiece there. And those clients are two very different personalities in terms of what they like to see. It's been a big balancing act, but and the husband is not winning the war really on that one. He's not getting a lot of the things that he really wanted because it's just so disparate from what I was asked to do originally. But what he likes is really bright, intense colors in pots. So I'm going to probably do like red with that, which is fun because I don't do a lot of red in my own garden. So that will be fun, and I think that will look really pretty. I will show you that at the time. All right, let's keep moving, and I'll show you what's happening. And the first thing that is happening is I need to go open up the greenhouses. I just got three more dahlia tubers the other day, so I'm going to pot those up and put those in the greenhouse. As we go over there, I was working over in this area yesterday, which feels so good. I like being able to work on an area and just like really, really focus on that area. So now I haven't done the upper level yet, but I got through this whole bed and really cleaned it out really well, although it was not in bad shape, but I edged. And you guys know that I am obsessed with edging. To me, just getting a nice cut edge, everything else gets better all the time. So that was good. I also transplanted some more Geranium macrorhizum here underneath this enormous, this is probably one of the biggest trees in our property, this enormous Norway spruce. Obviously there's not a lot of moisture under here. Not a lot of things are going to grow here. This was new bed this is turning into a tour. That's not really what this is supposed to be, but I'll tell you about this. This was a new bed last year when I turned this area that I'm standing in here into more of a circle shape. And in order to complete the circle, I needed this here. So obviously we put in some shade lovers here. So we have Ajuga pulmonaria. There are some foxgloves in here that I put in here last year. And then Geranium macrorhizum, which of course is like, I couldn't garden without it. I use it everywhere, and then I just move it around, which is what happened with the ones. You can see which ones I added in yesterday. I did not water them because it was going to rain, but that doesn't really help when you're under a tree, so I will have to do that. But you can see like these guys, those are the ones that I added in. Those had been over there. I did plant a few I'll take you over there later, but by the Chamaecyparis over there. But I had mixed them up and I had planted a couple different varieties. There's a lower growing variety over there that looks great, but then these guys popped up and they were huge. And I just didn't want something super tall there because those Chamaecyparis, I don't want anything shading out the bottom of those Chamaecyparis. So anyway, I worked on that yesterday. It was extraordinarily satisfying to just dig in. Now, it's probably very hot in these greenhouses. I hope you can hear some of the birds. All the orioles are here, and the grosbeaks, and all the migratory birds are here. Oh yeah, it's hot in here. Ooh, 90 degrees. I am finally starting to see some sprouts on some of the dahlias. You know, I brought them out of storage early, and I thought that they would sprout a lot quicker, but this is about the same timing as they always do. So ultimately it didn't make that much of a difference. So I'm finally seeing, you know, I always get nervous. You pot them up and then you don't see anything, you don't see anything, you don't see anything. And you think, is something wrong in there? But it's fine. It's just, gotta have some patience, I guess. Where are we gonna put these? Story of my life. I'm gonna put them right here on the ground for right now, and I will come back and deal with them. And then I want to show you a plant that's in this greenhouse because it is super fun. Oh my God, I gotta get those sweet peas planted. Oh my God, I'm so late on that. I forgot about them actually. Okay, that's happening today. All right, this is the plant I want to show you. Now, don't get too excited about it because you can't have it yet. This is Aspidistra Tokyo Skies. This is from the Southern Living Plant Collection, and it is not out until 2026. This is a cast iron plant with this amazing variegation on it. So I saw this, where's the sun? So you can see my face. Ooh, okay. There, I can't stand, it's staring me straight in the eyes. I saw that plant at Cultivate Garden Show last year. And I was like, gotta have it, love it so much. And I basically called in a lot of favors to get one. Like, they are not around. There is no quantity of them. I basically just begged and said, if there is any way I can have one, could I please have one? And I did. The plant brands that I do work with on individual videos to help you get the word out are very generous. And every once in a while, I get to call in a favor, like, can I please have that plant that everybody wants that is not really available, and pretty please, and then one day it shows up. So that is how Aspidistra Tokyo Skies showed up at my door. And I can't wait to show it all to you and get you all excited about it so that come 2026, when you can actually buy it, you might want it. By the way, it's a cast iron plant. It is not remotely hardy here. They make good house plants. I have actually talked to Jim Putnam about it because he grows it. And I'm like, hey, Jim, help out a northern gardener here. And just like, I wanted to make sure that I can put it, that there's no issues with putting it in a mixed container, which there isn't. So that's what's going to happen. So you'll see it this year, but anyway, it's just an exciting plant. So yes, sweet peas, oh my God, I literally forgot about them out here. Everything needs water. We're gonna have to do that as soon as I get back. Snapdragons, all this, oh my God, I'm behind. Okay, let's keep moving before it gets too depressing here. Yes, last week I showed you the ferns. Here are those same ferns this week. So in 1 week, they are now 30 inches tall. Actually, some of those back there are a full 3 feet or over. When you read about ostrich ferns, a lot of times you read that they get like 3 to 4 feet tall. No, these get 6 to 7 feet tall. They are clearly very, very, very happy plants. So this is actually, the woods is actually really pretty right now because we've got the ferns unfurling, which actually I think this is their most beautiful stage right now. We've got the Virginia bluebells blooming. There's the occasional daffodil. And then we've got all the skunk cabbage. I mean, if you could plant a garden with that kind of texture, you would. So pretty amazing that nature did it for me. I resorted to putting a couple oranges in the crook of this tree because the red-winged blackbirds keep chasing away the orioles on the feeder, which is irritating me, but the orioles haven't figured that out yet. Everything is leafing out. I mean, I think you can see if you compare this to last week's video. Like here's Onondago, by the way. We had a lot of conversation about what we should do with this, but look at the flowers that are starting on it. You will see the flowers. It is, well, whatever, we'll see it later. This is Erixa japonica, and these are the flower buds. They're the tiniest little things. The flowers are pretty insignificant, but really interesting. Check out how much growth there has been on the climbing hydrangea and the one by the garage as well. I mean, all those leaves opened up. We've got flower buds. I mean, those flower buds were just tiny, tiny, tiny little balls. And now we've got like little, see if I can get you in there without stepping on anything here. Little florets in there. I'm just kind of aiming and hoping you can see that. It's pretty amazing. I just can't believe what happened in the last week. And it wasn't like overly warm here. Let's talk about primulas for the third week in a row. I told you that I had a friend who gave me some of his primula crosses. So here's one of them. And, oh, I gotta get his, look at this one though. Check that guy out. Isn't that beautiful? How have I been missing the primula boat? Every once in a while that happens. And you know, people who are really into a specific plant will say, oh my God, what do you mean you don't grow that? You have to grow that. And I'm always like, yeah, we all have our plants that we're into. But with primula, it's like, yeah, I have to grow that. What am I doing? I don't know. Oh, trillium. First trilliums of the year here. So pretty. Now there should be a whole bunch more popping. Oh yeah, see, we've got, oh, there's trilliums all over the place. Hello. Here's more right there and there. Those are going to be red or yellow right there. I can't remember which. Oh, I love trilliums. So beautiful. We're not talking about the lily of the valley. Okay, here's the primula. Here's more primulas. I think I've been showing you these same ones for the last 3 weeks. So again, now this is 3 weeks of bloom. That one's done, but, and I'm gonna leave all those seed heads on there because if I can get these to seed around, that would be great. Good God, look at the lily of the valley issue. Ugh. Where else are we gonna go? I don't want to take you to the same places every week. Oh, I did work on this garden and I did film a little bit of it. And we'll talk about what I did in here, but the Hacklacloa, you guys look at the size of these clumps. This was planted in 2018 and I divided gallon-sized containers. So it was half a gallon for each one of these clumps. And now we are, so we're what, like 6 or 7 years into this, and that's what it looks like. Here's some more. I know you guys are gonna get sick of me talking about Geranium macrorhizum, but last year I divided a whole bunch of it because you can just keep dividing it infinitely, and planted a bunch on this berm here, and it's just coming in really well. I've got Canada thistle. You guys don't want to hear me just crap about my weeds all the time, so I'll shut up about that. Oh, the poor, we're still deciding what we're going to do about that poor blue shag. It's so unhappy. Oh, I obviously have not cleaned this garden yet, so maybe I should stick to the parts that I've actually cleaned a little bit. Oh, you know what? We walked right past a thalictrum I wanted to show you. Solomon steel. Sorry, that's the variegated one. And the epimediums are blooming. This is rubrum. Epimediums are such a beautiful plant. Mine don't colonize as much for me as they do for some other people. This is Dawn's Early Light hosta. It is so good. It's so, so, so pretty. Really nice pop of color here. More of the Solomon seal through here. It's nice. You know, I planted some fancy Solomon seals last year. One wonders where, and did I put it, I'm sure I put the tag in. Where did I put them? Oh God, I'm getting too old to not make notes, I think. The one thing I will say is, remember how last year I planted the perennial begonia, 3 of them? They were not cheap. Here's supposed to be one right here, because I did put the tags in for those, and I know one was supposed to be right here. There's no sign of them at all. So maybe they'll still pop up, but it was worth a try. It was just kind of an expensive try. Okay, this is what I want to show you. Look at this glorious, oh shoot, it's not in the sun. Let me try to get you in the sun side of things here without my shadow in the way. Look at this thalictrum. Isn't it beautiful? Now that one seems to be different from these other 2, or maybe it's behind and this one is already flowering, but oh my gosh, that is such a, I love a frothy plant. So good. This is goat's beard. Really good for, this is a big tall one. Such a good plant for dry shade. I am slowly making my way through each bed. The garden is just growing faster than I can keep up with it this year. It's crazy. The May apples have opened more since last week. And look at how beautiful that is. It's so gorgeous. And again, I mean, literally the best stuff in spring, I have nothing to do with. It just does it on its own. Do you see this kind of grass along this bank here? That is a terrible, terrible, terrible invasive. And I've been working on it for a few years here. It is canary reed grass. And, oh gosh, I'm just seeing weeds everywhere. Okay, let me turn this around. It's canary reed grass. And it is a plant that was originally planted around the perimeter of farmers' fields. It's not native. It's I don't know where it's native to, but not North America. And it was originally planted around farmers' fields as a buffer for runoff. And because obviously runoff, non-point pollution is a horrible problem, particularly in places here that are agriculturally rich. So that's what it was planted for. Unfortunately, it reseeds like nuts, and then it gets into the waterway, and then it pops up all over and clogs waterways, big time outcompetes native species. And that's what happened here. So this little creek is basically drainage runoff from the farm fields, like just up the hill. And so there's a seed bank, and it plants itself along here. So I have been, Roy Diblick told me about, was it Roy, or was I taking care of it before Roy? I think Roy was the one who told me that there was a specific herbicide. Now, I don't use, like, I'm not big on herbicides, but if there is only one way to get rid of something, and it is a terrible invasive, then I believe you have to use the herbicide. So there is an herbicide. It's called Rodeo, and you have to mix it. I wear a whole suit. I wear gloves. I wear a respirator. I wear goggles. I wear the whole thing when I spray it. And actually, I was supposed to spray it when it was about 10 inches tall, and so I need to get on that. And you also have to be careful about not actually, whatever. But the Rodeo one is a water safe one, so it won't kill fish. Anyway, I'm sure I'm gonna get in trouble for that, but that's just my feelings on, you know, better to use an herbicide appropriately according to the directions and fix a problem than to let an invasive species take over a whole area. I mean, some plants are just growing so quickly. This is Phlomis Amazonia. I have Phlomis russellinii I cannot get to grow. So, by the way, the beautiful foliage here. I've had people ask about this, and you should. That's an allium. It's ambassador allium. Unfortunately, the deer like it. The deer have been eating it. Here's another one. I mean, this is the best looking. I would grow this just for the foliage. That's the best looking allium foliage I have ever seen in my life. It is exotic and beautiful and just wonderful. And then it puts up a really nice big tall flower, the latest blooming of the alliums. The crown imperial fertilities are still looking good. So nice long bloom time on those as well. And the Asian pear is pretty much as well, there's still a few flower buds to go, but it pretty much got all its flower buds now. And fortunately, my other pear is starting to bloom. So maybe we'll get a little bit of cross-pollination, and I will help. I will assist with that. Oh, those are beautiful flowers, aren't they? If there's a little sun on here right now, you'd be impressed. So just believe me. Backlit Virginia bluebells are about the best thing ever. Isn't that just beautiful? The European ginger in this spot is so happy. You can see I dug some out and moved some around. One of my very favorite ground covers. It's different from the Canadian ginger, which is native, and this one isn't, because it's got these shiny leaves. It's a great one. Here is I keep showing you the climbing hydrangeas, but this is the climbing hydrangea I showed you last week. Obviously the same one. Same deal with the florets. I mean, it's pretty amazing when you look at it from week to week. You know what else is amazing? Holy frickin' maple seedlings everywhere this year. It's unbelievable. This is this a white spruce? Picea, it is a white. Picea glauca hudsonii. And look at the beautiful candles. This is what the candles look like. You can see, and then they brown, and then that's what they look like. And when it does get cones, the cones are beautiful. But I mean, so the whole thing is just like red tipped right now. I mean, just beautiful. This was a tree we planted for our dog Hudson, and it was supposed to. This is a great example of. I mean, just back up enough so you can actually see it all. This is a great example of when they give you the heights of something for an evergreen. That's the height in probably 10 years. So this was pretty mature when we bought it, and the height listed on it was 10 feet. And we are at a full, well, certainly 15 feet now. You did see that one side has always had this kind of hole in it. And, you know, clearly the better thing to do would have been to plant this, turn this when we planted it, but we didn't. So there's a little gap there, and it's fine. It's character. It's a beautiful, beautiful tree, though. Wonderful tree. And because it's a white spruce, not having the problems with needle cast that my blue spruce is having. Needle cast is a big deal with blue spruces, particularly in the Midwest. So if you have a blue spruce that's flagging, it could be needle cast, which is it's a fungus thing. And here is the Japanese maple. Full moonrise, finally starting to leaf out. And I think it's safe to say that every single plant that we planted along this border last year, which numbers well over 50, actually it's probably more closer to 100 maybe, everything is alive. It's kind of amazing. This is bush honeysuckle. This is Kodiak. It's Diravilla, Kodiak. I think I went with red. They all kind of look the same when they first start leafing out. Those are farthest ahead. The pagoda dogwoods starting to do their thing. The clethra, I haven't cut off the flowers, last year's flowers yet. I think they're still kind of interesting looking, to be honest. And this is where I removed the tall Geranium macrorrhizum from. So you can see that there's these short ones, and there's different varieties, and I couldn't tell you which is which. So here's a tall one still mixed in here, but they were very tall. And I just went low to the ground covers here, and I might add more ground covers, but I want them to be low to the ground. And you can see the driveway is a mess because I was weeding in here with the hoe, because there's a lot of weeds in here. Oh, here's a happy little, sorry, I'm flipping you around like crazy here. Look at this guy. That is, I think that's, is it reggae? I grew some tulips in a pot last year, and I just stuck them in the ground over here, and just this guy came up, and it's such a little surprise. I love that when that happens. And in other news, I brought the figs out last week. So they came out of storage. This is Little Miss Figgy, and this is Chicago Hardy, who needs to be repotted or else it's gonna die. Here's Little Miss Figgy starting to, I like her a lot. She probably needs a little pruning, but nice to have those out. Everything is out of the basement now except for various plants. Seedlings, various seedlings, I should say. Oh, the service sparrow kind of came and went. I don't think it was blooming. It was just about to bloom in last week's video, and it's already gone. And service berries are amazing. This one has some problems because it's got cedar apple rust real bad. But service berries are amazing, but I'll tell you what, the flowers are about as fleeting as you can get on a spring bloomer. Just show you these guys. Some Hackle and Chloe all gold popping up, and then Autumn Frost Hosta, one of my favorites. Okay, there's a quick whirlwind tour of the garden, a little bit unfocused this morning. Sorry about that. It's a beautiful day. I'm really anxious to get into the garden though, and I'm feeling really, really, really good about having one area looking. Oh, and I also did this big bed in front of the patio yesterday too. Oh, here, let me show you that quick. Oh man, I am scattered today. Sorry. You can see I always leave like a big mess behind. I'm terrible about that. Pulled a rock out of the bed. Okay, do you see all these ladies' mantle along the edge here? I have been plagued in this area. I talked about this in that video of plant, like whatever it was, 7 plants I won't grow again. And one of those was the Cherry Bells Campanula, which is very, very much like Campanula repinoides, the creeping bellflower in its behavior. And it was all mixed up through here. And I just ended up yesterday, I just dug up all these ladies' mantle and had to hand pick all of that Campanula out of there. And I'm sure it will be back, but at least I got a lot of it. Fortunately, it was easy to identify that because it has really white roots. So I actually picked out all the roots. And sometimes I think that's the only way you can deal with a problem. A weed, when you've got it growing amongst your perennials, you got to dig the whole clump up. You got to pick through it, and then you got to replant. Fortunately, ladies' mantle could care less. It is the toughest thing. It could care less about being ripped apart and taken out of the ground and put back in. It doesn't bother it at all, and it'll certainly be much happier now that it doesn't have that growing in it, at least for now. But I feel much better. That area looks cleaner too. So anyway, feeling good that I'm making progress finally, and lots to do, like planting those sweet peas. Forgot all about them, happening today. Have a great day in your garden. Thank you for watching, everybody. Sorry for the rambles today. Let me know what you think. Catch you soon. Bye, everybody. Oh, and if you like this, or you like me, or you like the stuff I put out there, please subscribe. It helps. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye, everybody. Hey, I didn't show you guys the new screen door color. This screen door was turquoise, and then it was kind of a chartreusey kind of color, and it got a glow up, and now it is coral. So I guess we were planting coral flowers on the deck. And look at our new little, what we did for a new little hand grip, and we re-screened it because dogs and cats are terrible on screens. So right now it looks quite bright against the white house, but I think once we get all the flowers and stuff in all the planters, it'll be great.